Good morning, students. This is your teacher Neelam Elawat, and today we'll start with the new chapter, that is reproductive health. I hope, dear students, you have revised all your chapters so far, and there is no doubt in them, and you have learnt all the questions as well. Okay, so today we'll start our revision with chapter number 4, that is reproductive health, and this is our lecture number 1. Right, everyone? Okay. So let's start. Now, in this chapter, we'll be talking about the reproductive health, the problems and the various strategies that the government is using. Second topic that we'll be taking is the population explosion and the birth control. The third is the medical termination of the pregnancy, which is called MTP. And fourth is the sexually transmitted diseases. What are the various sexually transmitted diseases? And lastly, the concept of infertility. So we'll be dealing with 5 topics in this particular chapter. So let's start with the first topic, that is the reproductive health. Now, dear students, what do you understand from the term reproductive health? Can you tell me? Now, reproductive health basically can be defined as a state of physical, emotional, behavioral and social fitness. And this particular fitness will help us in leading a good reproductive life. But as per the WHO also has defined the reproductive health. It says is the total well-being in all respects of the reproduction. That is physical, emotional, behavioral and social. So we should go for as per the WHO definition. So we must learn the definition of WHO. That is your World Health Organization. So it is the reproductive health can be defined as a total well-being in all respects or all aspects of the reproduction. Now, talking about the various problems and strategies. See, students, India was the first among the first countries to initiate the actions and the plans to attain the total reproductive health as a social goal. So India was the first country who started it, and these programs, they were called as family planning in 1951. So these programs, they were initiated in India in 1951. Okay. And these programs, they were covering the issues like reproduction related with areas in operation, that is reproductive and child care programs. This is together they are integrating the reproductive health with the child health care programs, and they are together called as RCH. Okay, RCH. What is RCH? The reproductive child health care programs. And these programs, they were started so that they to create the awareness among the various reproduction about the various reproduction aspects, to provide various facilities and to support the reproductive health society. So these programs, they were aimed to provide the information to the young people regarding the reproduction aspects, and secondly to provide the various facilities and support so that they can deal with the health problems or the reproductive problems, and they could lead a healthy reproductive life. Now, various aims and needs of sex education in schools. With the same aspect, the sex education was introduced in the schools so that these sex-related aspects, that even the adolescence age, the age when the child enters the puberty, the adolescents, they can be provided with sex education in schools. Now, this education is very, very important so that we can avoid the sex-related myths and misconceptions. And a proper information can be provided to regarding the reproductive organs, what happens during the adolescence age, what are the different aspects of the changes that are occurring in the adolescence age, and what are the hygienic sexual practices, and what are the ways in which a sexual transmitting diseases like AIDS can be transmitted. Since the children who come in this age, that is adolescence age, the puberty age, they are undergoing these changes. So for them, it is equally important that they should know their body well. And thus the concept of sex education was introduced in the schools, at least in the secondary and senior wing, so that our children can be made aware, as they are the future generations. So they must be aware regarding the various physiological and the behavioral changes that they are undergoing. And with the same concept, even you can say the counselors were also organized so that they can talk to the the adolescents, the students in this age to sort out their problems. Now then comes the concept of population explosion and the birth control. Now before we go further, we need to understand what is population explosion. The increase in size and growth of human population is called as population explosion. एकदम से जो है नंबर ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स इतना ट्रिमेंडस हो जाना कि हम उसे इंक्रीज ना कह के एक्सप्लोजन कह रहे हैं. ओके, इन इंडियन पॉपुलेशन की अगर हम बात करते हैं तो इंडियन पॉपुलेशन at independence, when we got independence in 1947, it was 350 million, right? And in May 2000, our population has crossed a landstone of around 1 billion. So it is exploding. It is not increasing, dear students. It is exploding at a very alarming rate. And this alarming growth rate will result in the scarcity of the basic requirements like food, shelter and clothing. So thus it is raising a concern for the governments as well as for the individuals at how to take care of this. Now this population explosion, as I was talking about, in 2001 census, the growth rate was around 1.6%. That is 17 individuals per thousand per year, and that is a very alarming rate which has doubled in the last 33 years. It is assumed that it has it could have doubled in 33 years. So there was a need to do something regarding the population. Now why we need to see, before we plan for something new, we must analyze the reasons why this particular problem is coming. So the reasons that were there for the population explosion are, first, there was a decline in the birth rate, because as the India entered independence, and so new technologies were there that were safeguarding the health of the people. Okay, right? In every sphere of life, there were new things that were available. Hospitals were available in the reach of children, in the reach of the society. So there was tremendous decrease in the death rate. So people had a longer lifespan. There was decline in the maternal mortality rate. See students, we know that many of the ladies, they die in a period of pregnancy. So as the health centers were available, as the number of hospitals were available, doctors were available, so there was frequent consultation, that because of this the maternal mortality rate declined. Further, it also declined the infant mortality rate, and there were some beliefs that were against the birth control. Okay, there were certain beliefs that talked about that we should not go for the birth control. We should have the child is considered to be the gift of God, so we should have as many as number of children that we want. And there was lack of knowledge related to the reproductive health. So these were the reasons that were leading to the population explosion in India. So on targeting these reasons, we need to develop the plan so that the population can be controlled. Now, what are the control measures? Our government decide that we should motivate the smaller families by using the contraceptive methods. Means the smaller families, they should be motivated. Those who are using the contraceptives, or those who are aware, only having 1 or 2 children. So incentives should be provided to them, right? If they are having single girl child, then some kind of incentive must be provided to the small families. Secondly, people must be made aware, and thus the slogan was given, Hum do hamare do. So we too are too, like mother and the father, and they have their 2 kids. So the government, it emphasized to have smaller families, and many of the couple, they adopted a single child norm also, right? Statutory rising of marriageable age, then the government increased the marriageable age of females from 18 to 21. Females की जो age है वो 18 years grow कर दी गई, and the males that they can get married at 21 years. So this is a legal age. If a girl is married before 18 years, that marriage is considered to be illegal, and if a man gets married before 21, again the marriage is illegal. So the marriageable age was then legalized, that is 18 years and 21 years respectively in the individuals. Now if you look at the data, how many number of pregnancies per year we have, there are 85% people who are not using any birth control. They don't use any birth control, right? 29% they only go for the spermicides. 25% they are fertility aware. 25% of people, they are aware about the fertility concept. And 21% of the females, they are using the condoms, while 18% they are using a withdrawal mechanism to avoid the concept of pregnancy. So from this data, we can also analyze that a majority of the population is not aware, and even if they are aware, they are not using the contraceptive methods at all. So thus the need of contraception was felt, right? Because the contraception would aim to control the birth of the individual. It aims to control the birth. Okay, so that the people, they can be encouraged to use the different contraceptives. And the prevention of contraception or fertilizing ovum during the intercourse is called the contraception, right? What is contraception? That is the unwanted pregnancies, they can be avoided by using the various contraceptive methods during the copulation, or you can say the mating process. The ideal contraceptive, will talk about what is an ideal contraceptive, right? We should need to understand, see, there is a variety of contraception, or you can say contraceptive techniques which are available in the market. So the couples, they need to decide which one they go for. But before deciding, they should keep in mind regarding what is an ideal contraceptive technique is. Okay, what is an ideal contraceptive technique? So ideal contraceptive is, it should be user friendly, it should be easily available, and it is effective, and it is reversible with number of either their side effects are very, very less, right? And you can say it is user friendly, it is easily available, it is effective, and it is reversible in the needs of time, and it should leave some minimum side effects on the body of the female. So based on this, we have different techniques which are contraceptives, considered to be the contraceptive methods. First is the natural and the traditional method. Second is a barrier method. Third is IUCD, oral contraceptives, injection and implants, and the last is surgical methods. So overall, we have 6 methods which can be utilized by a particular couple to avoid the unwanted pregnancies. Again, I am highlighting that the ideal contraceptive we should always keep in mind. Before using any technique, we should highlight the specific contraceptives that are considered to be the ideal one. So we should keep in choosing the technique, we should keep in mind these things. It should be user friendly, easily available, effective, reversible. And the most important, it should not interfere with the sexual drive or the desire of the person. It should not affect in any way the sexual desire of the couple, and it should leave no or least side effects on the individual. So before the couple chooses any of the techniques, we should keep in mind the following things. Now coming to the first one, that is a natural method. Now this natural method is based on the principle that there should be no meeting of ovum in the sperm. ठीक है, एग और स्पर्म को मिलने ही नहीं दिया जाए. So the chance they should not be allowed to meet. Thus, and we can have 3 things. One is periodic abstinence. Periodic abstinence means we know that we have talked about the menstrual cycle, and we know that the egg is released during on the 14th day, isn't it? So we should the couple, as a couple, they should avoid the mating between those periods when there is maximum chances of fusion is there. So periodic abstinence means avoiding sexual intercourse during those periods when there are maximum chances of pregnancy are there, or you can say this fusion is there. So we should avoid you can say mating between day 10 to 17th of the menstrual cycle, because these are the days when there is maximum chances of you can say fertilization are there. Second is withdrawal and or coitus interruptus. See, withdrawal in this method, the male partner, okay, in this method the male partner, he withdraws his penis from the vagina just before the ejaculation. So whenever the semen is to be released into the female body, just at that moment the male partner, he removes his penis from the body of the female, so that there is no insemination occurs. And the next is lactation amenorrhea, that is absence of menstruation. Now this method is based on the fact that ovulation, you can say ovulation or the cycle does not occur during the period of intense lactation during following the parturition. So once there is a birth of the child, and if the mother is intensely feeding the child, so during that period of time the menstrual cycle is not occurring, or you can say it is not following the periodic system. Second is physical contraceptives or the barrier method. Now this barrier method is based on the fact that ovum and sperms, they are prevented from physically meeting with each other with the help of barriers. So this method, during this method there is no contact between the sperm and ovum, and that contact is avoided by using some physical barrier. And this physical barrier can be used by female also, can be used by male also. This is a female condom, this is a male condoms. So both can use the condoms, male can also use, female can also use. So both will act as a barriers. And the condoms, they are basically made up of a thin rubber or a latex sheet, and they could be easily inserted by the male and the female, and they are disposable. So once they are used, they can be easily disposed of. So the male condoms, it covers the penis in case of male, while the you can say female condoms, they are covered with vagina and cervix in female, and it is used so that the semen does not enter into the female system. And these condoms, they also prevent the AIDS and sexually transmitted diseases. Next is your diaphragm, cervical caps and walls. They are also used. They are also a kind of barrier. They also act as a barrier. They are inserted, they are again made up of the rubber latex, and they are inserted into the female reproductive tract. Okay, they are like this. They are inserted into the female tract, and that blocks the entry of the sperm into the cervix, and they are reusable. Means you can use them with number of times. Other than this, there are spermicidal jellies are there, or foams are there, so that they can also provide a specific barrier. They also prevent conception by blocking the entry of sperms through the cervix. And these are also reusable, as I told you, right? Okay, since they are reusable, these barriers, you can say they increase the contraceptive efficiency. Next is your IUDs, that is intrauterine contraceptive devices. Okay, these are intrauterine contraceptive devices. Now these devices are again used by the females, and they are only inserted by the doctors or the nurses into the uterus of the female through the vagina. And there are two categories into this. One is non-medicated, another is copper releasing. You can say copper releasing IUCDs like copper T, copper 7, multi-load 375. Now this is, you should look in the diagram. This is showing you the copper T. It is T-shaped. Okay, it is T-shaped. Clear? So that is inserted into the, you can say inserted into the uterus of the female. Okay, clear? So two types are there. One is non-medicated, like example is lips loop, and they bring about the phagocytosis of sperms. तो हमारे पास दो अवेलेबल हैं, एक है नॉन मेडिकेटेड, दूसरा है मेडिकेटेड. नॉन मेडिकेटेड आपका लिप्स लूप है, एंड they bring about phagocytosis of sperms in the uterus. And this copper releasing, they basically release copper ions. Okay, they basically release copper ions, and these they suppress the motility of the sperms and fertilizing ability of the sperms. Right, everyone? And these IUCDs, they increases you can say the copper releasing also affect the they also make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. So आपकी जो कॉपर रिलीजिंग IUCDs हैं, ये दो काम करती हैं. एक, ये कॉपर को रिलीज करती हैं बॉडी वेजाइना में और स्पर्म की मोटिलिटी को रिड्यूस कर देती हैं, उसकी फर्टिलाइजिंग एबिलिटी को डिक्रीज कर देती हैं, एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, ये यूट्रस को अनसूटेबल बना देती हैं जिससे कि वहाँ इम्प्लांटेशन ना हो सके. ओके, क्लियर? And you can say IUCDs, they are considered to be the ideal contraceptive for females who want to delay the pregnancy. Clear? And it is one of the widely used or accepted methods of contraception in India. So this is how your copper T, it is inserted into the uterus of the female, right? Copper T means it is T-shaped device made up of copper. The next category that we have is the injects or implants. Clear? Injections or the implants. Now in this, they are basically consisting of progesterone or combination of estrogen and progesterone. ठीक है, इसके अंदर जो होता है इम्प्लांट्स जो हैं, जो इंजेक्शंस हैं, इनमें जो है प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन होता है या दे आर कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ एस्ट्रोजन प्लस प्रोजेस्ट्रॉन. And these implants, they are inserted into this female body. Just look at this, how you can see the implant here. Can you see in the implant? So this is how they are inserted. This is one of the implant which I am showing you here, and this is how they are inserted under the skin. And their mode of action is quite similar to that of the pills or other effective methods. Clear? And this progesterone or their combination, they are given within 72 hours of coitus, right? So they can be used as an emergency contraceptive also. Now coming to this, again I am highlighting, there are certain pills which are available, that is eye pills. They are also taken within the 72 hours of coitus, casual and unprotected intercourse, or you can say in some cases, emergency cases, like in case of rape. So if somebody has if a girl child or a female has been raped and she don't want that this rape could lead into a pregnancy, so within the 72 hours of coitus, this particular pills or the injectables, they are provided to her. Then is your surgical method. Surgical method basically is also called as sterilization method. Now this surgical method can be taken by both male and the females. Now this blocks the gamete transfer and thus prevents the contraception. When it is done by the male, we call it as vasectomy. If it is done by female, we call it as tubectomy. Okay, let's see. Now in case of male, the vast difference is cut and tied. मेल के केस में क्या करते हैं, सर्जरी में हम वास्ट डिफरेंस को कट कर देते हैं और उसको ब्लॉक कर देते हैं जिससे कि स्पर्म्स फीमेल की बॉडी में डिलीवर ना हो. फीमेल्स के केस में हम क्या करते हैं, फेलोपियन ट्यूब को कट कर देते हैं और उसे ब्लॉक कर देते हैं जिससे कि एग तक स्पर्म्स ना पहुंच पाए. सो इन बोथ केसेस, both these cases, whether it is a male who is undergoing the surgery or whether it is the female, so surgical intervention, it blocks the gamete transfer and therefore it prevents the contraception. So if it is done by the male, we call it as vasectomy. Done by female, we call it as tubectomy. Okay. Now coming to this, just emphasize this one, the oral contraceptives. See, your oral contraceptive means, in this case, we are taking certain pills, and these pills, they contain small doses of progesterone or a combination of progesterone or estrogen, right? And these are in the form of some certain tablets, which are, you can say, eye pills, and they have a cycle that they have to be taken for 21 days, and then during menstruation, they are not taken, okay? And then after 7 days, then again, the cycle will start. So oral pills, they act on the, straight away their action is that they act on the ovary. Your barrier methods, they are used in the cervix and the vagina. Intrauterine devices, they are planted into the uterus. So these, you can say, this is just a brief to tell you how the various contraceptive methods and their target organs. Now, as I told you, there are various side effects of these contraceptive methods. In general, I am telling you that all these contraceptive methods, they are anti-natural. Means although we are using, but we need not to forget that this is against a regular process. See, they are not regular requirements of our healthy reproductive life. So they are against our natural habit, natural instinct. And they will certainly cause some side effects, and these side effects include nausea, abdominal pain, certain bleeding, and your menstrual bleeding may become, you can say, irregular. Breast cancer, it may lead to breast cancer, though not very significant, but these side effects, they cannot be totally ignored, right? We cannot ignore them. So coming to your homework for today, dear students, first of all, you will make notes of the topic. And I suppose so far we have done all the notes. So for the most important, you will go through this chapter 4, you revise all the questions and prepare it well, right? Okay, so that's all for today. Bye everyone.